Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am participating in Audrey Yeager's Summer Scrappin' series. I am her guest for day 6. She's doing 21 days of summer scrapping. I am also using Flair from a Flair for Buttons today, and I am up on their blog with this layout. So all of their details are below. So I started out with two things, these two photos and a title. Since this is a summer scrapping series, I found from last summer these photos of my daughter catching frogs. And so I thought my title would be Summer in the Thickers. And then I typed up on my typewriter the rest of the title, which is, so it'll say Summer is for catching frogs and getting muddy. And so originally I was thinking I was going to use this pink paper as a border around the outside of the striped paper. And then when I laid that pink paper in the middle, I thought, oh, well, I kind of like the pink on the inside. So, but I didn't really want my photos and my title all together like that. I didn't want it to mat in that sense. And so I decided to just cut it into two triangles. And so that's how my design happened. It was just completely by accident. And then this was another little happy accident. When I flipped that paper over, I saw all these little circles. And I thought, well, why don't I use these? Because I knew I was going to use some Flair from the Flair for Buttons. And so since those are circles and these little pinwheels are circles, I thought that would work out really well. And they have great colors. So I ended up cutting out just the pink ones and some yellow ones. And then this teal color right there. It's kind of a aqua teal green kind of color. And I'm going to use those three colors as the main colors on my layout, besides, of course, the black and white. So I also have the 6x8 paper pad, and the 6x8 paper pad has a smaller version of this same paper. And so I cut out some smaller circles from that page, and I really like the way that looks. I really wanted to use this collection. It's a Maggie Holmes collection, and I really like it a lot, but I don't have ephemera. And so I didn't know exactly how I was going to tackle that, but this worked out really well because just by doing this little bit of fussy cutting, I have a ton of embellishments without having to get into a die cut paper pack. So I do have the chipboard, however, and I have some stickers. So this says summer mode, and I really thought I might use that. I thought that fit kind of with the series that we're working on, but then also just this page. So with my title, it matched it perfectly, and it fit underneath those photos quite nicely. So I'm just cutting the backing off here because I wasn't exactly sure I wanted to commit to putting it right there. So I'm just going to be able to move things around. One of the things that I do before I glue stuff down is I get my basic design. And now that I have that, I'm ready to glue things down. So I'm speeding this up because it's really kind of boring to watch. All I'm doing is roughing up the edges here. And then I am putting a little bit of Scotch tape runner behind it. And I'm using my T-square ruler to make sure that it is straight on the sides. I add tissue paper behind my photos a lot, especially if I'm not going to add, actually I almost always do it, even if I do add pattern paper too, but I don't end up adding pattern paper this time. So as I am gluing down most of those circles, I have popped a few of them up on pop dots so that adds a little bit of dimension to the page, and I really like the way that looks to have some of the circles popped up as well as having the flare because then they're kind of the same height. So anyway, it's just a preference, but that's my personal preference. So I decided off camera to go ahead and stitch using black because I thought it needed just a little bit more black around the triangles. So I did that off camera, and I added a little bit of messy stitching as well. Now I'm going to add some foam behind my photos just to pop those up a little bit and add my title. And after I add my title, I run into a little bit of a problem here. So I go ahead and I decided I was going to do a little bit more black stitching right underneath those little strips of paper. And it pretty much ate my paper. So I must have had something wrong. So you can see there how it's a complete mess. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I ended up just moving those down moving my title down, which I didn't really like it down further, but then I ended up moving some of the circles so they were over the top of the triangle there, you can see above summer. And then it looks like I kind of meant for it to be that way. So it ended up working out okay, but boy, I had to walk away. I was pretty mad that I had done that. And I still haven't like forgiven my sewing machine yet, and I haven't gone back to try to fix it and make it feel better. It is still broken. So anyway, I am going to add a little bit of tangled thread behind the 3 pieces of Flair that I have. I'm just using some yellow. And then I'm going to add a little aqua thread behind my photos, I think, as well. So my Flair, I found 3 pieces of Flair that really match this really well. So one says #summer, and that's in that same yellow. And then the one down by my photos is pink, and it has arrows on it. So I have it so it's kind of pointing toward the words summer mode. And then the other one is from one of my favorite Flair sets, and it's like looks watercolor, and it has little polka dots on it, and it is pink and yellow, and it just matches perfectly, and I just love that whole Flair set. I've used pretty much all of them. Now I'm adding some enamel dots. I added some aqua colored ones. These are some black ones. I also have pink and yellow, I think. And then I felt like there was just something missing up in the upper left corner. And so I'm sorry that this is kind of off camera here a little bit, but as I was gluing these down, I went ahead, I think everything's glued now except for my photos and these little pieces of Flair. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down, and as I do that, or after I do that, I'm going to fix the upper left corner by adding a little bit more pink up there. So this is the way that I'm doing this. I take a little piece of pink paper and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to it and put it behind my background paper. And then I just cut a little slit and then rip it off. There it goes. I realized right then that it wasn't showing it. And so I had to move my camera. But anyway, so that's all I did. And that just added, that made me so much happier. Like as I saw that, I was like, yes, perfect. I'm going to add a little bit of splatters in yellow. I'm using Shimmer's paint, yellow, pink, and black. And then I think I call it done. I toyed with the idea of adding some labels and maybe putting the date on a label. And actually, I didn't end up putting the date stamp on here until after I'd even taken the pictures. I completely forgot to do that. So I walked away after I did my black hair because if I mess with it after I put black on my page, then I typically will mess up the black. I will smear it. So I'm trying to get as much of it up with my paper towel as possible so that I don't smear it. And then I do, like I said, mess around a little bit trying to decide if I wanted to put a label sticker on or not. And then I decide, nope, it's done. So in the close-ups, you will see the layout, but then you're also going to see a little bit of a close-up of the Flair. Also, I made sure I put in a close-up of my title so that you can kind of see how I... here comes that close-up right here. Yeah, how I covered up that mess that my sewing machine did. And that's just about it. So if you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. Make sure that you look at Audrey's video if you are not familiar with Audrey. And then also check out the Flair for Buttons information below. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video.